Welcome to the From Code to C-Suite podcast.
Different people fall into the same situations and they have different results. The situation is the same, but the people different. So it means that we hold the keys. Once you see the pain, so if you resolve it, this is the value you deliver. So if not me, then who? You must have 5 people to survive.
Yeah.
Okay, and later on, there is a drive and you can scale.
What would the 5 look like? What's the 5 most important people to build that, would you say?
So for me, it's my management team.
This is a journey of a CTO who has built his career across multiple continents. A leader shaped by culture, pressure, and responsibility. AI, Fintech, startups. This is the truth behind the role everybody thinks they want. The road to being a CTO, do you think it's harder than what people think? Like, have you found it a challenging journey? Or you think it's just all sort of folded out naturally and it's been quite straightforward?
I think it depends on the personality. I think it depends on, because many people are just born with the kind of leadership style. So it's not so complicated to them, I believe. So other people need to develop some skills.
Anton, good morning. Welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Hello. I'm pretty good. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for having me.
Very, very welcome. I know you're a super busy man, so I really appreciate it. And I know you've got a lot going on at the moment, so thank you so much.
Thank you for the invite.
So look, just as an introduction to anybody who doesn't know you, can you give us an idea of who you are and what you're currently working on right now in the world of tech?
Sure. So I'm a CTO in the Fintech at the moment. I have an AI background. So I used to optimize 4G and 5G networks in Russia, Europe, and United States.
Nice.
And now I'm working on building the Neo bank, one of the projects, and we want to close the gap between the gap in management of the assets in crypto and the fiat space. So and I believe the AI became a commodity now, and to show the ROI, so you need to implement it in some specific areas, in some specific industries. So, and this is what I'm focusing on right now.
Nice. So I didn't realize that. So you've also worked, so you're obviously Russia, right, where you're from. You worked in the States and now Dubai. How long was you in the States for?
So it was about 1 year contract. So I worked there. So it was pretty dense, pretty customer-faced interactions. So it was really interesting experience. So it gave me a lot. It was
nice.
From one side, it was very challenging. From another side, it gave me a lot. I learned a lot in these direct customer interactions. And
was you actually working in the US then? Whereabouts was you there?
So I really like to work in the United States with a lot of freedom and responsibility you can get. So, and yes, I really like this, and I also have experience working in the UK. So pretty similar, pretty open, a lot of freedom. So, but of course you must show the results. So if you don't have the results, so the game is over. But I like again this freedom when you do whatever you want, do whatever you need, just to reach the goal.
Yeah, makes sense. And then how long have you been in Dubai for now?
So I'm here already 3 years.
Nice.
So I moved here with the family. So still exploring it, and it looks to me better and better each year once I go deeper and deeper.
I agree. I'm exactly the same. I feel like you love it more and more the more time you spend here.
Yeah.
So the business you're working at right now, I know you've been there for a relatively short period of time, but what exactly is it you're building? Did you say? Sorry.
So we're building the Neo bank
Nice.
for the B2B clients to help them to manage their assets. Either it is the fiat or crypto. So we see the gap here, and of course we want to close it.
Nice. It sounds like an interesting role. I know you're building a team around you and things like that. So it sounds like a great opportunity.
Yes, exactly. So we are in the very beginning of the project, and so we just setting things foundation, and later on we go into to scale fast.
Nice, great opportunity. Let's go back to when you first got interested in tech. What first sparked your interest? Why did you choose to go down the technology career path?
Yes. So I was born in Siberia, and we spend a lot of time in-house. So I really like to go to play with the cubes and the puzzles. And later on, I have some time in the college. So I was not a student of the college, but I was lucky to spend the summer. And there was a personal PC and the freedom again to explore whatever you want, whatever you can do. And I've got the touch of the a specific the community. The feed on it was very popular these days, and it was really some specific subculture of very innovative. I would say the feeling of the new era, and so this summer I made my choice. So this is something that I would like to belong to and goes with.
Nice. So tell me about you're back. This is back in Serbia, right? Did you say?
Sorry?
This was back in Serbia when you first discovered the PC.
No, it was in Russia.
Oh, sorry. Okay, understood. And what did a computer system look like back then? I'm assuming it was like pretty big computer, right? There wasn't so many amazing apps that you could do. What was you able to do on a computer at that point?
Okay. So I investigate the coding. So I used the Pascal and later on Delphi. Just in one of my wow projects that first project was a screensaver. So I created a screensaver on the Pascal, and it was a wow effect in our community, but it was pretty simple. So and at that moment I realized the beauty of the things, how you can write the code. And to go deeper, I like to find the principles that works in nature, like for example for golden ratio. So and it's widely used in the programming as well. So and this is something that common in natural world and digital world, and this beauty is about effectiveness as well. So I really like to explore and extract and reuse these patterns. So and this is something that you can really easily scale once you did it properly.
Nice. With the Pascal, right? That's a coding technology. It's I know it's quite old school. What is that front end? Is it back end? Like, what would you compare that to nowadays?
It was everything, I would say. So we work. So it was. At that time there was no division between front end and back end much. So it was not server side. It works only on your laptop. So it's kind of. So
is it like C++? Is it similar to that?
Yeah, something like that. So you can imagine like an older version of the Word, for example, on Microsoft products that you just install it and it works on your laptop, on your PC. So and this is kind of the application. So I started with.
Nice. And then at this point, how old was you when you started getting into this? Was this post-university or at university or before university?
So I started even before university and later on. So I grow inside in university scale. So and at that time, so I started to pay more attention to artificial intelligence. So there was a fine reader, the product of the AB. So and they started how to recognize the scan text, so optical recognition. So and this kind of really huge, the new approach how you can how computer vision can actually see what is going on. So and there is a mathematics behind it. So it was pretty complex, pretty novel. And in institute, I was lucky to have a teacher who actually challenged us, the students, and he asks, "Okay, do you believe the AI will someday will reach the level of the consciousness of the people?" So and I'm as a humanist, so I said, no way. And there was a lot of debates at this moment, and now we see that it's not so. Who knows? And now I believe we need to first answer. So what does it mean, the consciousness? So and how can we compare? So this is still the open question. So how many years passed? But
So what did the technology of AI look like back then? Because I know AI the past few years have just gone crazy, right? There's so many enhancements of it. But what was the capabilities of it back then at university for you?
It was, the one of the practical implementation is the optical recognition, as I mentioned. For the rest, I would say at the moment it looks more like scientific research. So there was no huge amount of practical implementations. So and I even was interested to become a PhD in the AI, but because I don't see the practical implementation, so I kind of leave this idea, and this is something that I think I would like to change because at that moment, so you should go to the passion. So if you like it, if it's interesting, if you don't even understand, okay, what is the applicability here? What is the practical choice? But if you feel, the energy there, so it's really interested you, so just go and do it. So this is something that I learned from this situation later on.
And I don't know, but maybe you can tell me. In Russia at university, is there many AI courses that you can go and take? Is that quite hard to find, or was you just lucky and you had a university that had that?
Now it's very popular these days because historically in Russia in USSR, so we have a pretty good math schools. So and at the end of the day, is about the math, right? So it's the basics was founded in 50 years ago, but now it's become more complicated, of course, and we have more computational power. But at the end of the day, to dive in, you have to be good in math to understand how it works under the hood. So you can use the API now, but if you want to go deeper, so you need to learn stuff.
Be very good at maths.
Yes.
So what did you actually study at uni? You actually studied AI, or was it like a computer science degree with AI?
Yes, so I've focused on it was a computer science, so I have an official degree of computer science, and we have AI integrated as a part. But again, it was not so popular these days. So now, of course, there are the huge programs that focused on the AI from day one. And I really like, so I see the great results that we have in Russia, and it's some of these goes even outside of the Russia to the international market. So the level is pretty good.
Nice. And then post-university, how did you land your first role in the industry, and what did that look like?
Yeah, so I was lucky to start to work in the 2G and the GSM cellular network.
Okay.
So it was the first generation, the fully digital. It was really like a paradise for me because I have the bunch of the data.
Wow.
And we delivered the connectivity to the regions where it never was. So
we're talking about phone connections. Did you
phone
say?
connections? Yes, just the first small phone. So in the beginning it was like a huge one, but when we get a small one, and it's become more and more popular. Just in a few days, it's starting to become the commodity. And we delivered the connectivity to the region where it never was. And when you came and when you build it and you see the feedback from the locals, so it was really amazing.
That's life-changing for people that hadn't been connected before, though, right?
Exactly. And we see so huge loads, so people start to use it immediately because it's okay. They start to become of the bigger world, so they can reach their friends, family, or whatever. Start to do the business. So and you are the enabler of this on some of the fields. So it was the amazing field. So, and for me, once I have the digital traces, I can work with it. So I can code. So I started to implement it for myself. So to automate my routine tasks, later on for the team. So I start to analyze how the processes looks like. So this is how I grow inside of this company. So I was invited to different roles. So, and yes, I was lucky to go in this mainstream again. So it was growing stream.
Do you feel like that was a big learning curve for you then? When you first got into that first role, did you learn a lot? Was you mentored by good managers at that business?
Yes. So every time I go to some new roles, and you need to have someone who already did it.
Yeah.
Who can, in some cases, it can give you some really simple advices, but if you don't have such a person who already have this vision and have this experience, you may waste a lot of time. So, and one of my probably advice, just to find the mentor, find the people who already doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Find the way to connect with them with the community forums, with the podcasts. So, and just to get this connection, get this feeling, and you will progress much, much faster.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So after you did the stint of the role where you had the connectivity, I mean, it's actually crazy when you think about it, because imagine nowadays if you didn't have 5G or 4G, like you take it for granted, don't you?
Yes.
Even just you can call your family or send a text on WhatsApp. If you don't have that, even if there's a blip for 5 minutes where you can't connect, it feels like the world's ending, doesn't it? So it must have been an amazing project to work on. When did you start to get into more fintech orientated positions? Like how did that come about, and how did you get interested in more of the fintech world?
That's a good question. So after the university, after the Janet, I was happy to go to the Cisco. I become a part of the startup from the Middle East which was acquired by the Cisco.
Okay.
So, and it was a huge shift for me because I go from nationwide companies and processes to the international scale. So it's completely different culture, completely different the language, of course, and the approach to how the processes looks, how the people interact. So it was really huge shift for me. So and later on, I work in the scale of the in Europe and United States, even in Asia. And after that, I understand, okay, so for me, it's about the connectivity, people. And at the end of the day, so I understand, okay, so the fintech, it's about connectivity as well. So
it's true, yeah.
So you can send the message, or you can send the message within some money, some assets, right? So and for me, it's about the connectivity. So there was a Nokia for connecting the world, connecting the people. So for me, fintech it's about the same. So, but in this message now, you can send much more than before. You can include much more. So, and I decided to switch to the fintech. Yes. So
nice.
After the Cisco. So
you was at Cisco for a long time, right? Was you there just in Russia, or did you travel around with that role as well?
Yes. So once I became a part of the Cisco, we started first we focus on the Russia area, and later on we started to switch to Europe. There was a few projects in different countries. In the United States, we have a few nationwide implementations. So there was a huge data center, so a lot of data. So it was really intensive. It's a real-time system, so it works 24/7. So it's optimized and watch the networks. So very high responsibility. So and everything should be uptime. So yes, so this time travel a lot, but later on, we become really enterprise system, and then I kind of lost the startup feeling. And I go to another company, so and this is my first official CTO role.
Okay, nice.
And there I started my fintech journey. So with the different startups, so most of them was in the fintech field in this or another way. So and I have experience in AI. I know how to scale and here and start up again. So and this is my
nice
another step.
I guess 2 questions I want to ask on that. So first of all, it must be a big mindset shift to want to go from a huge, massive business like Cisco, right, that are global, to a smaller startup.
Yes.
There must be a lot of different things that you've got to change mindset-wise. And what were the, what was your mindset shift to doing that? Why did you want to do that?
Because when I joined the Cisco, I joined the part of the startup that was acquired by Cisco, and later on we started to integrate in Cisco more and more and more and more, and we become kind of more and more enterprisey. So and I see how we starting to move not slowly, and all this enterprise stuff. So we pretty stable. Okay, that's good. But what are the next moves? So okay, now I'm fine, but where are we moving to? So what will be the next move? So and especially now, I believe it's really important to understand not your next steps, but the one step. Next after this step. So what will be so? And I'm starting to explore what are the other opportunities I see. So, and as far as I was already a part of the startup culture, and I have the enterprise experience, I know both.
Best of both, right?
Yes, best of both. So, okay, why I can repeat it in some other place and have more responsibility and bring more value and get more from this. So that's why I decided, okay, I have this experience, and I think I find the better way to utilize it and to bring the more value, because in enterprise, so it's
makes sense. What made you want to be a CTO? What made you move to a CTO? Was it something you always had your eyes set on once you got into the world of tech, or just naturally happened?
I don't have such kind of ambition initially. So I just followed the problem, actually. So when I was pure technical guy, so I started to understand how to solve the technical problems. Okay, so after that I start to share my vision. Okay, so this we can improve that way. So I have vision, I share it, I perform the audits, I provide the reports. And okay, guys, do 1, 2, 3, and you will fix it. But next year, everything the same. So, and I understand, okay, so it looks like vision is not enough. Somebody need to implement it. So if not me, then who? So I just go because I want to solve the problem. And the deeper you go into understanding of the problem, the faster you will come to some lack in the processes, lack in the culture, lack in the structure of the company. So the deeper you go, the higher you go. Actually, so just follow the white rabbit,
Yeah.
and that's it.
It's good advice, I think. Follow the problem, isn't it? Because that's where the pain point is, and that's where you can add the most value.
So once you see the pain, so if you resolve it, this is the value you deliver.
Makes sense. What are some of the biggest challenges that you faced throughout your career at getting to a CTO level?
So one of the biggest was the shift from the national to the international. When I moved to the Cisco, it's a cultural shift. And
what would you say the biggest culture shifts are for someone that maybe doesn't know Russian too well or hasn't worked in either environment?
So it's pretty different. I would say in Russia we are pretty straightforward in the feedback. Okay, so if you see something that you would like to fix, you just tell them about that.
Yeah.
So when I came to international level, so I used to work with Americans, with the Europeans, in the Middle East, with guys in India. So, and it's completely different culture. So you want to send the same message, but in the different culture, you should do it in a different ways.
Deliver it slightly different to each. Yeah.
So when you got some message, so from different cultures, so again, you need to understand so what actually was said. So and this kind of shift, so you need to play the different culture, different games, just again to achieve the goal. So but this is your team. It's kind of very different in different parts, and so you need to change the heads. And
I feel like, to be honest, to buy out of anywhere in the world, most of the teams that you're going to be working with are people from everywhere, from every stretch of the world. So it's hard as an employee to jump into a business with loads of people. But if you're managing people, it must be even more difficult, right?
Yes. So again, it depends on your experience. So because when you, for me, it was challenging. Okay, but I was lucky to do it in really huge international company with the open borders. And again, I have a great mentors who support me, who was already there. And so this is one of the biggest challenges, actually. And of course, the technical stuff, the scale, the technology. So yes, but the culture, the organizational structure, the processes, how it looks like. So when you have the people, if you align people with the culture and you share the goals clearly, I found out that you don't need the micromanagement. So the people starting to push you, actually, and your responsibility becoming to remove the obstacles. So just to let the people work, let the people go, just provide the vision, provide the resources, whatever they need to follow, and they will push you.
Yeah.
So and here you have a risk to become a bottleneck, but this is another story.
That's good. How would you describe your style of management? Because you're right, there's so many people, I think as well in this region, that are quite micromanagement heavy.
Yes.
Which doesn't always work, right? People don't like that. How would you describe your style of management, if you could?
It depends. So according to my experience, so it depends on the level of the company. So you're working on. So it's startup. It's one culture. So it's kind of bigger companies. So it's another approach. And of course, it depends on the personality. So if you're working with the junior engineer, so of course you will give him like a small pieces, explain it more, and control him often. But if you work with a really senior engineer, you just need to describe what is the goal, so what restrictions do we have, so and just let it go, and just describe. Okay, so how much time do you need? So and he will tell me, okay, how much time it will take, and when he will come back to me. So in different roles and different cultures, so it depends. So and I think the big skill and responsibility of the manager and its scale, so to be able to shift it, to make this shift in the mind. So who are you speaking with? So what is the best approach to speak here? So because you want to keep the people motivated from one side. From another side, you need some controlled results and outputs. So, and it's always kind of find the balance between this.
Yeah, I remember I looked online. There's like a graph of different cultures of how they like to maybe even have feedback, right? As you said, maybe Russian people are quite upfront about it, but if you was upfront about it to somebody else, they might feel really offended and upset about it.
Yes.
So it's a difficult position to be in, I think.
Yes, but when you know the rules, so you can translate it, at the end of the day. So okay, so I understand. So because so your goal is to deliver the message, but not to hurt the people, right? So you need to fix something if something doesn't work properly, but it's still your team. So and you take care about it.
Any other challenges you faced over the journey, would you say?
So and one of the challenge was when I joined well-established company, replaced some CTO that was there, and there was a principal architect that actually was we didn't fire connection first, and he was informal leader as well. So in that case, so I discussed with the friends of mine, so what are the approaches there? So and it's okay, I can fire him just in one day, but do I really need to do it? Does it a good solution because he's informal leader and it will affect the team even more?
Was he a Russian guy as well, or different?
Yes, he was originally from Russia. So and so I decided to dive into this conversation. So and I find out that the stuff that become basic for me, like status quo, was not clear for him. So and we do many negotiations. We discuss the things, how it works and why this work this way. What is his expectations? What are expectations of the team? What are the fears of the team? So why? But we should do in a different way now, but why and how it works, and can you prove it is something common? And so a lot of things so we discussed, but I decided to move to meet even offline, so because we were in different cities just to set up this connection. So and it was pretty challenging, but I think it was the right decision, because for me, if I didn't invest so much in this communication, so I can be even in more trouble. So we didn't become friends, but we used to work together. So in constructive way. So again, we align on the culture, align on the goals, and start.
Yeah, interesting. I was just thinking as you explained that, because let's say, for example, where you are now, it seems like you're one of the first people, right? And you get to build the culture essentially yourself, really, being the CTO. Or if you're, which is very, very hard because everything's from you from scratch. Or if you're joining a more established business, enterprise level client like Cisco, for example, they've already got their structures in place, and there's a new person joining in and you need to change that a little bit. It causes a lot of friction for people below you, or maybe who had that role previously. Which is the bigger challenge?
Yes, and the tricky part, if you join the established company, so it means that you don't need to change a little bit.
Yeah.
So because you are here because they really need some changes. So and in that case, the change management come to place.
Yeah.
Okay. So and it's not easy, but in many cases, you need to evaluate. So in the story I told, that I decided to go with this person and find out how we can work together. But the work cases that I just decided, okay, so I need to replace the people. So I need to bring the people to the key positions, at least, who already share my mindsets, because I was to work with them. So we share the culture.
Nice. That's good.
Because I cannot be the only person. So I need the team of the managers who will expand this culture and show it by example. So how it works and why it works. And set up the new approach. So
I suppose it's hard, isn't it? Because a lot of people may have been in these businesses for a long period of time, and not everybody likes change.
Yes.
Because they like what they're used to. So if something is ruffling their feathers, then it's a difficult thing to handle.
That's true. That's why then in such situation, I always ask, okay, am I have a full ability to do whatever I need to do? Because in such situation, the significant part of the team will go away. So and we should be ready to this. So because this is culture, this is who is ready to adopt, okay, I'm happy. I'm happy to keep the people because they're already on the context, they know the product, they know how it works. But if it's not, at the end of the day, there should be a decision made. So either you go with the new rules or you go into another company.
Otherwise, the business stays in the same position, right? And it doesn't change. Was there a pivotal moment in your career when you realized that you was on the right path and you was, going to be very good at the CTO role?
So it was a situation where from year to year, so I just was invited outside of, so I'm not seek for the new position, but I was invited. And this pivotal moment when I switched from national to the international level, so I just multiply my income by 5, just
big difference
in one day. Yeah, so
that's crazy.
It was a really huge one. Okay, yes, this is something that's really works.
And what was that transition? That was when you left Russia, or
I still became in Russia. I moved to Moscow, but I joined the Cisco office in Moscow. So in our not big team. So and I, as the
your wife must have been happy if you 5x your salary, right?
Definitely. So it was it was a win-win everywhere. So it's an international company. So I moved from enterprise to the startups, something new. There is a huge income. We have a really promising future. That's why we scale. That's why we want. So this was kind of fresh way.
It's exciting as well, right? If it's a startup and then you can really implement things you've learned and starting from scratch, a blank canvas.
Yes, especially in this situation when you are the startup and you are under the Cisco umbrella.
Yeah.
So
the funding, the backbone's there.
Yes. So it's really amazing.
Yeah, because so many, I guess, startups, right? That's their biggest concern is spend, and what's the run rate looking like? But if you're behind Cisco, then it's big difference,
and you're starting to scale. So.
What's your? I was going to ask here. What sort of like team structure do you normally like to apply? Like if you was to start a startup from scratch, if you has done and you are doing now, what would be your initial plans of hiring and how would you do that? What would be the foundations?
Yeah, so it depends, of course. So there are many details of what do you have already and how do you want to move fast. But at the beginning, you need the first team, 5-7 people. So and why 5 and 7? So where does it came from? So I'm not sure. So if everybody aware, but it's come from anthropology. So because our family, so a million years ago, so you must have 5 people to survive.
Yeah.
Okay. And later on, there is a tribe and you can scale. So in these 5 people, you can have really tight connections between. So and you're not overwhelmed with the bunch of the connections. So you can be effective here.
What would the 5 look like? What's the 5 most important people to build that, would you say?
So for me, it's my management team. So it depends on the scale because we are going to scale fast. I need to set up the management layer. So if you're just a startup, so just hire people smart, keep the team small, especially now when there is so many AI tools. So you should work much on empowering the people. So with these tools, just create the culture of because the startup, keep it small.
Yeah.
And of course, you need to set up the rules. You need to set up the culture. So how do you work now? And once you would like to scale, probably you will need some shift in culture as well. So it's a long story, in different scales, different things works.
How do you think, I know you mentioned AI there, but how do you think that will implement the headcount that businesses do scale in this day and age? Because I know a lot of people are trying to stay incredibly lean and really enhance AI, or people are still happy to use as many people and headcount, but because the enhancements of AI, they can build more quicker. What's your opinion on that? Do you think it will replace people?
I think... Okay, according to the reports that I see from United States, for example, I see that the middle class is something that become less and less.
Yeah.
So if you have a very cheap workforce, you can probably keep it.
Yeah.
So if you have really senior engineers, so you will keep it. But the gap between the juniors, let's say, and the seniors, so this is the medium, it's kind of going to AI. And I think it's pretty tricky for the industry because if you don't have the middle, how you will come the senior engineers?
How will they make that jump, right?
Yes. How it will work. So For now, we see, of course, the rise of AI-first companies. So especially because the enterprises, they have an issue because they are heavy. There is a bunch of the processes that already exist, and it's not easy to just change it in one day. But when you started from the scratch, start with the AI-first approach, of course, definitely. So there is, I believe, no another way to do the things right now.
Yeah. It's interesting that you said that, because I feel like so many people are struggling to actually find their first job in the industry because of AI. So if you're a junior engineer, they're actually struggling to land that first job because of the reasons you mentioned. But then do you think the industry in general become less attractive because people are scared to graduate from university with a computer science degree and they can't get their first role? Do you think there might be a bit of a window here and further down the line where we don't have anybody that is young and hungry anymore?
I think from one side, yes, and from another side, if you're high quality, if you're really good education, so you will still be needed because AI is growing, but there is still not huge implementation of the AI. There is a lot of things that AI didn't touch yet.
Yeah.
So we see a lot of hype, all the stuff. But if you see at numbers, for example, AI agents. So this year was kind of year of AI.
The year of AI agents, yeah.
And the statistics shows that most of the companies was failed to implement it, was failed to get the ROI feasible there. So because it's not an easy stuff, so you cannot just take and replace it. So you need to change the company. You need to shift the culture in the company. So again, there is some people like it, some people don't. So there is a really huge changes in the process in the mind. So and you need people who can do it from technical point of view correctly, right, to make it really works. And for example, one of the key principles of the agents you implement, they must be self-learned. So they must become better and better by themselves. You don't need to invest. So from one point of view, from another point of view, structural point of view, so we need to implement this change management in an organization that is pretty challenging because it shifts on every level.
Yeah, it makes sense. Do you think the role, let's say if we're talking about a senior software engineer, right, in the moment, do you think that their role will slightly change over time and it might become more of a project manager style role if they are using more agents underneath them? How do you think it will evolve?
I see the shift to the left, actually. So for me, for example, I see the way from moving from CTO to CTPO to make more responsibility for the product. For the engineers, I believe they are moving to the team leads, but to the team leads of the agents.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of starting to implement it, but there is no kind of one-fit-all approach. So it's still kind of research on the markets going on. So there are some tools, some work, some best practices inside of the companies, and this has become part of I believe, the capitalization of the company. So how well do you adopt these tools? But for the engineers' roles, so they focus mostly from the writing the code to solve the problem, because even the AI tools, the AI agents, so they can solve the problem, but you must explain what exactly do you want to solve.
They need the right information, right?
Right information, right? So you need to express your intention. You need to understand what is the problem. Again, shift to the left, go to the customer, understand what is the customer's needs. So, but you still need to understand how they build things properly in principles. So you don't probably need to know all the details soon, but the principles, the foundations, you should know it.
Yeah.
Just to be a good manager. So in any way, so whatever you manage the set of the agents or you're working with the people. So the things here, shifting from the strict code, strict rules in the code to the agents that kind of more like a human-like species. But of course, it's not exactly the same.
Makes sense. And I think that kind of loops back, right, where there might be a bit of a gap for people that are getting into the industry now as junior engineers, and they're so heavily involved or reliant on AI to help them with their coding. If they've not learned the core principles and things like that, if they was to come into a team lead further down the line, when they're managing AI agents in 5-10 years or whatever that time period is, they might struggle because they don't know the core principle as well as somebody that has been able to really be coding from the start.
And this is where I believe the good education is plays its roles. Because, for example, in Russia, I have a few contacts who have the physical education, just the physics.
Yeah.
So, and this people mind is different, I would say, because whatever they go in any area they came, they have the principles that works everywhere. And I believe so now to find out this, if you don't have this kind of excellent education, to find out these principles, to focus on search on these principles that transferable from any other points. So it's something that can give you the foundation and allow you to move forward even when the tools change fast.
It's interesting that, because you know what, over my career of being a recruiter, there's been ups and downs of some companies will only hire somebody that's got a computer science degree. Other clients don't mind at all. They're not fussed, but maybe further down the line, that's going to come through even more. If you've got a computer science degree, because you've got the mindset and the fundamentals, that's going to be so important.
Yes. So, and yes, at the end of the day, the tools you should know, of course, but what is the foundation behind it? So if you have it, so you can move forward, in a more constant way. So if you follow the tools, so it will be kind of all the time, all the drift and what is your authenticity here. So anybody can use it.
Makes sense. If we're looking at, I guess the past 5 years, the biggest shifts have been AI, which we spoke about a lot there. But what do you feel like, let's talk about fintech specifically. What do you feel like the biggest shifts over the next 5 to 10 years might look like with fintech?
So already now we see the huge changes in the regulations, because fintech is a regulation-driven industry. So in the United States, there was a shift in regulation. So, and it opened the window for the crypto management and fiat management. So it kind of became the engage each other. So, and I see that probably Africa will start to reveal its potential. So not sure if it will become in 5 years, but it definitely starts, because in next 15-18 years, half of the growth on the planet will in the population will happen in Africa.
Yeah.
So, and of course, there is still a lot of potential and a lot of not developed things. So, and I believe this potential will start to reveal.
Yeah. You got to think, right, it's such a big economy where right now there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of cash money, right? It's not digitalized, it's not very regulated. So if they can turn that into, I guess, more legitimate sources or whatever, or digitalize that economy, it'll make such a big difference.
But at the same time, the tricky part, there are some solutions that in some cases, they can pay from the phone for the everything. So because some solutions in Africa exist, they even kind of more innovative than in other world.
Yeah.
But at the other side, so it's very fragmented market. So very, very fragmented. So different regulations, different. So it's complicated one. But again, I think the huge potential.
Yeah, massive potential. It's even quite expensive, I believe, to transfer money from country to country in Africa as well. So it's quite costly to do that, or to send money in Africa compared to other regions. So that also is probably a big area of
and now when we have a stable coin, so the Kazakhstan started the stable coin officially, for example. So, and USDT, we know. So, and there is a bunch of the projects that actually allow you to send with the really, really cheap to send the money cross border. So, and again, it's about if you remember this old SWIFT, so when the money goes 3-5 days, and if something's wrong, so you don't know how to find out what's happened.
It's actually crazy when you think about it, isn't it? That it used to take so long.
Because at the end of the day, I understand. So okay, this is the digital message. Okay, so you must use few hops. Okay, but why WhatsApp message goes so fast?
And it's exactly the same concept, isn't it?
Because okay, you have regulations, but WhatsApp is free.
Yeah.
So here I pay in the money. Why it takes so much time?
I feel like maybe that's one of the reasons that Dubai as well is such a growing economy and how well it's doing in the fintech space, is not just because of the regulations here and the fast forward innovation, but also the way it's geographically located, because we have Africa relatively close. Yes. We've got India, relatively close, Pakistan, places like that which are less developed. So I feel like Dubai is in a really good spot to cover that.
Yes, it's really amazing. So because, everything is nearby. So the Europe is nearby. Russia, for me, it's important, nearby. Middle East in the center of Africa. So yes, so the most of the interesting world is pretty nearby, and even United States and Australia. So you have a direct flight. So this kind of the level of the connectivity is amazing. So I believe this is one of the biggest.
Even the CEO of Revolut moved last week, didn't he?
Yes.
He's now based himself here. So I think it's promising signs for the region.
Yes, it's really interesting because of case I believe there's such a level of people when they move to some location. So they don't just move. So they come up with their ideas, with their mind and their vision, and start to transform the territory they're living in. So it sounds pretty promising. Yes, so it's interesting.
It's true. They've probably got big plans, right, that they're working on to revolutionize the industry here.
Yes, probably. So you see the Pavel Durov. So he's a huge, unique project. So and he chose this place as well. So.
That's good. What lessons do you have, or what words of advice, I guess, that you could pass to anybody that wants to be a CTO one day, or wants to be in a position that you are in now? What advice would you give them throughout their career?
I would advise to evaluate your strong and weak parts, to be fair, to be honest with yourself. It is really important to understand where are you at the moment. So what gaps do you have? And create a plan how to close these gaps. Because again, when we're talking about the core principles, it's so you can see it if you really, really honest. So why does this work? Why this doesn't work? So I did a few things and both of them work. So what's common there? So the critical honesty, I believe, is something that's really important. So, and once you identify, so what do you want to achieve and what you're missing, so find the people who are already there. So mentors, communities, listen to the podcast, gather their ideas and the vision of the people who are already there. Because at the end of the day, everything is in our mind, is our head, right? So if I don't. So, one of the lessons I learned in childhood, and so the people fall into different people fall into the same situations and they have different results. The situation is the same, but the people different. So it means that we hold the keys, how to interact with the situation. So go deep dive, understand what is the difference. So what are your priorities and be, again, honest with you. So like in my example with the PhD in AI. So I was not honest enough with myself. So
do you mean like self-reflection? Is that what you mean?
Yes. Self-reflection and awareness. So because I believe at the end of the day, now when the middle will goes to the AI, we have two directions. So kind of inwards. So we must understand what does it mean to be a human. So what makes us unique. So what is consciousness, and externally. So we will go into the space to the other planets and so on. Here we need the technology, but in your internal journey, so you need to be really, really accurate and pay a lot of attention. So what is your foundation? So what are you looking for?
Makes sense. Do you think that the road to being a CTO, do you think it's harder than what people think? Like, have you found it a challenging journey, or you think it's just all sort of folded out naturally and it's been quite straightforward?
I think it depends on the personality. I think it depends on, because many people are just born with the kind of leadership style. So it's not so complicated to them, I believe. So other people need to develop some skills. So it's really, again, up to personality and understanding why you actually go to this direction. Because, for example, if you're a good engineer, so you can be. This is one of the technical tracks. So in the enterprise companies, there is a fellow engineers. So, and they are very valuable, the influencers. So maybe this is the way, because when you go to the management, you pay more and more attention to the people, to the organizational structure, to the culture, and less to the tech. So, and here it's important to understand what exactly do you want to achieve and why.
Yeah.
And again, you need to understand yourself first and follow your passion.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because I think so many people, they might be amazing engineers, but the skills they really need to develop is the leadership and the communication, because you might be the world's best software engineer, but have you got those skills to be a good CTO? It's a very, very different role, isn't it?
Yes. And there is an opinion that the most complex shift is when you came from engineering to the management because of that.
Yeah.
So because you need to shift to minds significantly. So, and it doesn't important. So whatever you start to manage the 5 people or 50 people. So the shift from the engineering, when you work by yourself and you manage the people and enable the people and help them to do their best, empower the people.
Yeah.
So this is a huge shift. Yes.
Makes sense. Awesome. Anton, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was an awesome conversation and lots of value in there for so many people.
Thank you so much. So thank you for this invitation. I'm really glad to share my vision. Hope this help.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you.